He's nothing. He's not this. He's not that. He's not going to be able to translate into the NFL. Oh, he's too Christian like. Oh, you know what I'm saying? I don't like my quarterbacks, you know what I'm saying, to be crying all the time after each huge victory. I mean, these are the things that are being said now about the Raiders' number one pick coming this summer in the NFL draft. This is now what they're saying about Fernando Mendoza. Let me tell you something right before we get into this. Make sure you guys hit that like, share, and subscribe. This is another episode of ZamSports. But I'm here to tell JB, Coach JB, yeah, you know, the ex-JUCO coach, you know what I'm saying, from the show, right? Yeah. I need you to shut up. Because we're going to get into what people are actually saying about Mendoza, because you got a lot of people that just want to paint narratives for hot takes. They did the same thing to Shedeur Sanders with the Cleveland Browns. And now they're trying to bring that energy over here to the Las Vegas Raiders. Let me tell you something right now. That's not happening. Because over here, man, us Las Vegas Raider fans, you understand? We like what we got cooking. We like what Kubiak got cooking. Right? We like the hires that's been happening, you know what I'm saying, with the coaching staff. But real quick, let's just get straight up into see what Pat McAfee actually had to say on the behalf of my quarterback.
Fernando Mendoza is generational. I think Fernando Mendoza, 6'5" dog, has beers with the boys, super smart, wildly intelligent, accurate, and he's tough. I think he is generational. I think the people that are on TV talking about him, maybe not being a guy, or the same people that were saying Dante Moore was the number one overall quarterback in this particular draft class, and it's just because they were late to the party with Mendoza, and they don't want to realize that. They don't.
And this is exactly what I've been saying. Shout out to Pat McAfee, because the NFL is now shifting. It's not about hurry up and win now. It's about developing now. It's about developing. That's the key to success. Because developing your young guys, developing your young players, developing even your coaching staff can lead to longer success instead of that instant success as far as trying to reach, you know what I'm saying, in the free agency, as far as trying to make a splash trade. We've been hearing a lot of rumors dealing with, you know what I'm saying, Max Crosby, but let's be real. Clint Kubiak has something cooking, and that coaching staff, Tom Brady, Spy Tech, they got something cooking over there in Las Vegas, because the recipe has been put out. The recipe has been put out, man. This year with the Seahawks, the recipe was put out with the Indiana Hoosiers. Develop your players, man. You understand? So shout out to Pat McAfee, because I agree with him on this situation. Right? They're saying that he's this and he's that, but we got to be real, guys. We got to be real. If he was this and he was that, he wouldn't be a champion. I want to hear what Chase Daniels got to say.
Won the Heisman Trophy and the national championship in an undefeated season at Indiana. But where does Fernando Mendoza fall on my top 10 quarterbacks list of 2026? 4th and 4. This is the Heisman moment. This is the national championship moment. People that don't think he can run the football. What are you doing? You're calling a quarterback draw, and you're going to go juke some people.
Look at that.
You're going to get in. Heisman moment, touchdown.
Now, I want y'all to look at this play. Does this look like a quarterback that's just going to be known for crying all the time, being scared? I mean, what are we talking about? You have nothing positive to say because you just can't stand the Raiders. Let's just keep it 100. There are certain teams, there's certain people, even though that they're doing media, they just hate. They don't even care what moves are being made. It's just going to have a blind eye to it just because they have a certain bias, to the point that you're going to put narratives on Fernando Mendoza. What am I talking about? Well, let's just get straight up into it, man. Let's get straight into it. This guy right here, Coach JB, right? Let's hear what he had to say, because now these are the negative narratives that are being pushed on my Las Vegas Raiders and our quarterback.
We've enabled these kids so fucking much that now they believe they do not have to throw. They're better than that, than throwing, because this is the truth. They have such an inferiority complex. They're so scared to fail You've seen the guy cry every fucking day. There's no more nuts and guts. He's so scared to fail to go out there and compete against a guy like Ty Simpson or Carson Beck in shorts and a T-shirt. He doesn't want his arm to be exposed. He doesn't want to have the naysayers or the scouts or whoever. He did benefit from all that talent around him, that older group of talent, the perfect storm, the actual lightning in a bottle that Indiana captured with Signetti in this roster. Maybe that is the case. See, he is scared to compare that, nah, I'm that motherfucker. See, if you're that motherfucker, then you go out there and you fucking throw.
I mean, what are we talking about? There's a reason why this guy is fired and he doesn't have a job. I mean, if that's your football knowledge, if that's what you got, if that's your take, if that is your assessment on Fernando Mendoza coming up in this draft, everything that you've seen from the Heisman Trophy winner, everything that you've seen all year, the things that you've seen in the past years, I don't even believe this guy ever even watched any type of tape on Fernando Mendoza. And that's the problem. You got people that paint narratives, that make up lies, that ain't never seen tape. That's never watched tape to make these type of claims. Let me tell you something, JB. This guy, Fernando Mendoza, is going to be a great addition for my Las Vegas Raiders. And here's why. Because of the coaching staff that we have put together. Because of this coaching staff that we have put together. Shout out to Clint Kubiak. But we got Mike McCoy. We're talking 23 years experience, assistant head coach. Let's just look at the offensive side, because this is really the changes that needed to be made. It needed to start in the coaching staff. See, my Las Vegas Raiders have literally just done a whole overhaul when it came to the coaching staff. I mean, you've seen the product that Pete Carroll gave my squad last year. I was not excited about that hire at all. I was very worried. Me living over here in the Pacific Northwest, over here in Seattle, I didn't see the decline of Pete Carroll. It comes to a certain point, man, where it's just like you got to have the staff. You got to have the guys that can actually relate to the players in the locker room. This is where the league is shifting to. I mean, we talking Andrew Giannacco at the offensive coordinator, Zach Azzini at the wide receivers coach, Rick Dennison, right, for our offensive line coach, Luke Steekel for the tight ends coach, Omar Young, shout out to Omar Young, running backs coach, right? We just got him the other day. Offensive, you know what I'm saying, quality control. I mean, we've doing a whole overhaul. Even the defense, Rob Leonard. These are all certain picks that Clint Kubiak, John Spytek, Tom Brady, all these guys in the upper office, they're making these moves, man, right? They're picking certain people from certain trees because it's about what can you bring. Clint Kubiak is not some yes man type of a guy where he just wants a bunch of yes men around him. I mean, just look at the staff that was presented, you know what I'm saying, and was put together for the Seattle Seahawks last year. It wasn't based off of no yes man. Mike McDonald was not a yes man type of a coach. And Clint Kubiak is not going to be a yes man type of coach either. No, we want pieces. What can you bring to the organization that's going to help develop these young players at the Las Vegas Raiders? Because we got some dogs, man. We straight up got some dogs. You understand? And these are things we got to realize because the blueprint has been set and put out by Clint Kubiak. As he made this statement, says, it's really important to me that we're a gritty team. That way that the way that they were back in the old days. I mean, come on. Talking about that's the foundation, man. That's the blueprint. That's the foundation. That's the blueprint. Just win, baby. And this is what we get back to in 2026. And we're not about to allow or listen to any outside noise that's not going to bring any facts. It's not going to bring any type of proof. You understand? I mean, what are we talking about? If we go back and really look at this play, right? I mean, what are we talking about? This is his defining moment as Chase Daniels did a very excellent job breaking this down. Make sure you guys go subscribe to his channel. I mean, come on, man. This is against the Miami Hurricanes defense. Oh, look at that. I thought he was a crybaby, though. Did he cry after that sandwich hit? No, he spun and dived into the end zone. Iconic moment. Something that you've never done, JB. No offense. Right? Now, he does take chances. I will say this about Fernando Mendoza. He does take chances. But I'd rather have a quarterback, you understand, who's willing to take those chances, like Kubiak said. Because that's the way that we were able to win back in those days. You mean to tell me that when we had this grittiness, that we was able to get multiple playoff appearances with Rich Gannon? I mean, come on, Fernando Mendoza is way more athletic than Rich Gannon would ever could be. And with Clint Kubiak's office and his offensive staff that he's putting together, the young pieces that we already have, I'm excited about my Las Vegas Raiders going into the next year. I feel that we are a playoff-bound team. I know that we're over there in the AFC West, you know what I'm saying, and they say it's a tough division, but let's just be real, bro. Let's just be real. We don't know how the Kansas City Chiefs are going to be looking like coming back next year with Patrick Mahomes coming off of that season-ending injury. It may not be the same. I don't have faith, you know what I'm saying, as far as what people are saying, as far as the Los Angeles Chargers, because let's be real, Justin Herbert is overrated. He's proven that year after year, playoff run after playoff run. And Bo Nix just kind of came into the scene and bam, already went down with an injury. We don't know how he's going to look coming back. Hell, Sean Payton already dogging him. So guess what? Things is wide open, but there's nothing but good news happening over here in Las Vegas. We don't need none of that negative mojo, Coach JB. Right? We don't need none of that negative mojo that the negative media be portraying and painting narratives on other players that they just don't like personally. You understand? Because over here we creating winners. Let's hear what Tony Dungy had to say about Kubiak.
Does. He's just a fundamentally sound, smart coach, but he's also someone who can, what's the word I'm looking for? He can relate to the players. And it's not like I'm this guy up here and the players are down here. They feel like he's with them. And I was at the Seahawks training camp this year, and I saw the energy that offense was playing with. And I had a good feeling. I told Coach McDonald, I think you guys are onto something special here.
You heard it out his mouth, man. What we talking about? See, we not just going to talk here. We going to drop facts, right? So when we hear negative narratives that's being painted on our Raider players, we got to look around and see if everybody is saying the same thing, because you got a lot of people, right, that are on their downcline, right, and just can't accept the fact, you know what I'm saying, you just not that guy no more. No offense. Yeah, you have a history. You probably, you put in a lot of JUCO players. I'll give you credit to that. You put in a lot of JUCO players and led them to the league. But you're sitting there taking all the credit for it. Players like Tank Dell, you taking all the credit for it like these guys wouldn't have made it without their will and grit. You understand? So maybe you being a coach in that coaching position, maybe you don't want that type of a player. But let's be real. If this same guy, Coach JB, was the coach of the Las Vegas Raiders right now, and he has the number one pick, who are you going to choose, JB? Who are you going to choose? Are you going to dictate it based off the combine? Because this is what you're upset about. Oh, he's not throwing at the combine. Fernando Mendoza. This is the same narrative that was painted on Shedeur Sanders. The same narrative that was painted on Shedeur Sanders. If you already guaranteed to be drafted, what you need to throw at the combine for? And last I checked, Fernando Mendoza said that he was going to throw at Indiana Pro Day to highlight more of the receivers of Indiana, because best believe us Raiders is looking to maybe snag one of them up, hopefully in the second round. Maybe we can do some trades, you know what I'm saying, within the first round. We still have some assets. We got plenty of money in cap space to make some moves. There's moves already being made, man. It's already cooking. The recipe is cooking in Las Vegas, y'all. The recipe is cooking with my Raiders, y'all. And I'm excited. And y'all should be excited too. And we got to shut down these haters, right? We got to shut down these haters because that true Raider nation, shout out to my bro, Sonny Bo, hard work, dedication. Hey, that's coming back, bro. You feel me? That's coming back on Mamacitas. You understand?
What are some of those memories? And
let's hear what Bo Jackson, the great Bo Jackson, what he's got to say, right? As far as why, when he had three choices, he had to choose the Raiders. See, if you're not Raider Nation, you don't understand. We don't need you to speak on Raider Nation and the moves that we making over here. Worry about what you got going on, right? And if you're going to speak on us, bring some facts, man.
what are some of those memories and what were those conversations that you had with Al Davis? Because I've seen where you've been interviewed and you've talked about when you had given up football entirely, you were going to play baseball. But then when the Raiders put your name in on that draft pick, you said, oh, that team? What was that conversation like?
No, but I wanted to play football, but I was going to do both regardless.
Oh, okay.
But I wasn't going to play for the team that had first round draft pick.
Right, which you're not going to
regardless.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to play with them regardless. And there was only three other teams that I would play for.
Okay. Who?
The Raiders, Dallas, and the 49ers.
Okay. Why the Raiders?
Why not the Raiders? It's a mystique.
It's a mystique, yeah.
It's a mystique of being a Raider fan.
Yeah.
But most people call us the bad boys. No, we're the kick-ass boys.
I like that. We the kick-ass boys. Yeah, that's the type of attitude we got over here at Raider Nation. JB, we don't need you speaking. Don't worry about it, bro. We got the grit. Fernando got the grit. Fernando got the toughness. Fernando's going to bring a lot to the locker room of the Las Vegas Raiders, man, with his leadership. Why? Because this is not one of these quarterbacks, man, that didn't develop. He developed in college. I thought that's what we're supposed to do, right? Develop these young players so that when they come into the league that they fully ready to take on the task that's thrown at them. Because best believe Fernando Mendoza is coming into a tough situation. We know that as Raider fans, but we stand behind our quarterback. Leave that Cleveland Brown energy from 2025, into 2026 season over there. We don't need those negative narratives on our quarterback. You understand? We don't need those negative narratives. All those negative narratives that y'all pushed on Shedeur Sanders, he making y'all eat them up, man. I still wish my squad, I still wish my Raiders would have got him. But look at how the cookies crumble. Look at the football gods and how we just ended up with the number one pick. Yeah. I'm happy about my number one pick. I would go through everything that we just went through last season, every single loss, to get to the point where we're at now. Clint Kubiak, excellent coaching staff. To the point that now Max Crosby's kind of like, bro, do I leave? Do I stay? I don't know. I might want to stay because there's something cooking in Vegas. You understand? There's something cooking in Vegas. We the kick-ass boys, right? Let's hear what Spytek had to say today at the Combine.
That rookie class, some of the traits they had, they were all like pretty good, smart guys. Like it seemed like they had that in common. How important was that in the process? And how do you go about like putting that class together of those kind of people?
It's a testament to our scouts and the work that they do to build it the right way, to find the right kind of human first. And, you know, that's why I keep saying, like, you guys that are in Vegas with us, like, I believe in those guys. They're about the right things. That was really important to me for the first draft that I had a chance to run in Las Vegas, that we find the right kind of people, because we're playing the long game here. And I'm betting on, you know, the growth that those guys will have because they're about the right things.
Did you hear that? We're playing the long game here, JB. JB, we playing the long game. Coach JB. A lot of teams are taking this route, Coach JB. They're playing the long game called development of your players. You can't just expect these young guys to come straight into the league and automatically, you know what I'm saying, become a superstar. But you also can't shit on them and tear them down when they're supported by an organization that believes in them. We believe in Fernando Mendoza, man. You understand? We believe in Fernando Mendoza so much that these other quarterbacks, like y'all was trying to bring up, like was said earlier, Dante Moore, right? They all going back to school, man. They taking the Mendoza route. You understand? And I understand that Mendoza, y'all, he as far as, his upbringing, you know what I mean? Like, he's a really, really good guy. But let's just keep it real. What Mendoza's going to bring to the Las Vegas Raiders locker room is going to be positive. And what the Las Vegas Raiders locker room and just that Raider aura is going to bring to Fernando Mendoza is going to be great for him as well. It's going to be great for him as well. I can't wait to see Fernando Mendoza on a 4th and 5. Scramble out of the pocket. Juke 2 defenders. Bounce off 1. Run over somebody else and dive in the end zone. Yeah, that's Raider football. Yeah, that's Raider football. That's why we were there at that national championship game. Watching every single step. As far as Tom Brady, you know what I'm saying? As far as Mark Davis. Shout out to Mark Davis, even though he looked like the problem child. But I love him. But let's hear what they got to say. They talking about my Raiders.
The Raiders, for the first time since 2007, they have the number 1 overall draft pick. They kind of dictate, they control the draft, really. And in your latest mock, you've got Fernando Mendoza going to the Raiders. A lot of people have that as well. What about him, though, really fits into, with his skill set meshing with Clint Kubiak's offense? How does that kind of fit in your mind?
I think it fits well. I think you got somebody who can, make every type of throw you need to make. You want to have a little bit of movement based inside the offense, like Coach Kubiak likes. He's comfortable doing that. You get him some experience under center. I think he'll be fine in that regard. But you got somebody who's accurate, who's a really good decision maker, and someone who's got a lot of poise. And whether that's this system or any system, that stuff all translates quite well.
The Raiders,
whether
for the
it's
first time
this, you heard it. Whether it's this system with the Raiders or any system, the accuracy, the poise, that translates to any system. What are we talking about, man? Right? What are we talking about? That translates to any system. Clint Kubiak's style of coaching definitely translates to any system. So bring out the facts if you're going to speak on my quarterback. Don't worry about our quarterback. Again, y'all, we got a lot of things cooking. I mean, everybody's speaking about my squad. We haven't seen my Raiders pop out as far as the staff speaking on certain things with the excitement in a long time. And you know why that is? Because we got the Mendoza coming in the building.
Given who Clint Kubiak is, given who his father was, who his father coached with, all the Shanahan tree stuff, they're going to do a lot of play action. They're going to build a strong run game. They're going to use the tight ends a lot. So all these guys you talked about are going to be factors.
So let's just stop right there, right? Let's just stop right there, right? This is the blueprint. Now, we don't want to put it all out, but when we have Brock Bowers still. We have Ashton Jeanty. Ashton Jeanty really impressed me this year as far as the production that he gave us, despite having to run possibly behind the worst offensive line in the National Football League. I mean, we had the worst offensive line in the National Football League. Do not get it twisted. Do not get it twisted. And I know some of y'all will probably saying like, well, you know what I'm saying, and maybe that's why Geno had a bad year, but let's just keep it real. Geno doesn't have the accuracy. That's what he's lacking. He doesn't have that accuracy. I almost wish he would have ran more last year with that offensive line that we had, but we're making improvement. You understand? We have a lot of improvement to do, and we have a lot of cap space, and we buzzing right now because of the number 1 overall draft pick, right? So let's hear what Clint Kubiak had to say as he addressed the combine.
Clint, talking to people around the NFL about what it looks like here in the short time you've been here, they've commented that you've went out and gotten a lot of different people from different trees. And they mentioned how your dad didn't want yes men. He wanted people who had different ideas. And so when you look at your staff, did you use what your dad did and how you did it? And would you talk about that side of you that doesn't want yes men? You want the different trees to have the different input.
Yeah, I think it's really important to have a good mix. You want to have people that you have some work experience with, but you really want people that are better than you. You want better coaches, guys that can challenge you in a good way and enhance your offense and bring new ideas offensively and defensively. I think The experience I've had with those individuals that just want to be told what to do and tell you how good a job you're doing, those are usually the ones that are not going to be a part of the winning solution. So we're definitely looking for guys to help us grow.
I mean, that's beautiful, man. I mean, that's my coach. He understands the formula. He understands how things are shifting. You understand? He said it first. We not looking for no yes man. He's hiring people on his coaching staff that he feels can potentially that are better than him or that can potentially even be better than him. As far as bouncing off ideas, this is what this is about, y'all. There's no egos over here, man. Nah, it's just win, baby. You understand? And we got something cooking in Las Vegas. You feel me? And I'm very excited. Super excited. Right? It says, if I know, right? This was Fernando Mendoza. It says, this is from Fox Sports Report, an NFL report. Fernando Mendoza's private quarterback coach since high school pulls back the curtain for Henry McKenna on why he's exactly right for the Raiders. And the statement that he made says, if I know Fernando the way I know Fernando, Tom Brady, the GOAT, is probably going to have a separate phone for Fernando alone because he is going to wear that relationship out. Mendoza's private quarterback coach on his potential future with the Raiders via Fox Sports NFL writer Henry McKenna. Shout out to Henry McKenna. And Tom Brady's a football guru, man. He eats, sleeps, and breathes football. I mean, I'm excited. I just can't wait. The play calling that's going to be, you know what I'm saying, in the helmet, right, in the ear of Fernando Mendoza. These guys are going to literally mold him into a winning, hopefully Super Bowl winning quarterback, because that's what the goal is. Now, are we going to end up winning? Is there a possibility we can make the Super Bowl going into this year with the rookie quarterback? No, but you never know. But I'm definitely looking forward into the future within the next 2 to 3 years, because we're one of those young and up and coming teams that's really going to make a splash because of the simple fact that we're starting from the bottom and we're growing from within. This is why you see the Seahawks just made a splash. Do not be surprised if the Cleveland Browns make the playoffs next year with the stuff that they got cooking over there with Todd Monken and them boys, right? And Shador, 12. You understand? Because the same thing they got cooking over there is the same thing we kind of cooking over here with the Raiders. But we actually have more pieces. You understand? So, hey, man, no offense, JB, but you just shut up. Just shut up.
Now they believe they do not have to throw. They're better than throwing, because this is the truth. They have such an inferiority complex. They're so scared to fail. You've seen the guy cry every fucking day. There's no more nuts and guts. He's so scared to fail to go out there and compete against a guy like Ty Simpson or Carson Beck in shorts and a T-shirt. He doesn't want his arm to be exposed. He doesn't want to have the naysayers or the scouts or whoever say, damn, maybe he did benefit from all that talent around in that older group of talent, the perfect storm.
What a stupid take. And I'm going to end it with this. Maybe he did benefit around all that older talent. What the hell you think he's getting ready to come into in the NFL his rookie season? Is he about to be playing with a bunch of young people, or is he going to be playing with experienced talent? What are you talking about? Leave my Raiders alone. Leave my quarterback alone. What we got cooking for Las Vegas, man, has nothing to do with you. Worry about what you got going on and stop shaming, right? And throwing shade on these young guys that's coming into the league. You understand? So this has been another episode of Zam Sports. I'm your host, Zam. Make sure you guys hit that like, share, and subscribe. We'll catch you guys another time. You understand? Raider Nation, hard work, dedication, man. Raiders for life, just win, baby. I'll catch y'all, you know what I'm saying, next time.